Should y'all say? Should I be like, where we help you find your circle, and y'all say, and your man?
I was trying to get y'all to do that. If you have noticed, I'm like, and your man, and your man. Like, damn.
All right, well, let's do it. Welcome to the BoyFriends podcast, where we help you find your circle
and your man.
Yes. What?
Do you like? Don't you like it?
I love it though. We keeping it. We definitely keep it.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's.
I was trying to,
I hear you. I
love it.
I'll be like, you see how we're evolving here?
Slow evolution.
Yes. We even got like the new like location. Well, technically a new location, but a new space.
New space.
Today's topic is: am I too picky with my dating choices? I'm curious what you guys think about that, because I don't know. I mean, I would say personally, I don't think that I'm too picky, but I'm still single as hell, and I'm trying to figure out.
Dude, same. Like, I think it's really difficult to, honestly, especially the older that you get and the more that you date, the more you start to see like what you don't like. And I'm almost positive I brought this up before. Like, it's getting easier as I get older to find the red flags where I'm like, nope, we're out. Cutting that off right there, sparing myself.
Now, is it a red flag or orange flag?
No, well, it's definitely, it's really hard to kind of...
Give me a red flag example. Like, what's something that you don't like about a guy that you can find out on the first date that would be like, this ain't gonna work?
Bad breath.
Rude to the waiter.
First of all, you can fix bad breath.
Okay,
you can't fix rudeness to the waiter though.
Look, that's a red flag. I can fix him.
No,
okay?
no, I like.
You can have a conversation about bad breath, like, hey baby, you are so handsome.
I can't do
you
it.
You have a beautiful smile. But you have to brush the back of your tongue.
I think I look a little bit deeper than that. Okay, I really don't like it when a guy says that he doesn't like the song WAP, because I feel like that's very telling.
It's almost like when they say they don't like Beyonce.
Kind of. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but I just feel like it's very telling.
You don't like Beyonce?
I'm going on camera. I do like her, but I don't think why she.
Okay,
ain't gonna put her on the pedestal where she needs to be.
We're gonna stop this conversation before we fight.
Whatever. Okay. I don't want the beehive coming at me.
I'm from Houston, I don't play about B or Megan.
Or when I'm talking about, especially when I'm talking about like feminism and what it means to me, and you know, like what I really stand for, and then they'll say some shit like, well, to play devil's advocate, if you fucking say that to me, I will rip your head off.
No.
I hate that. I hate when people are like, well, to play devil's advocate, I hate that. Yeah. I hate that so much. Yeah. So that's like a red flag for me.
Yeah, low key, that's kind of where I am with, and I'm not going to bring this up because I'm like a Beyonce stan. Sorry. Like, y'all know, if you watch me on YouTube, if you like watch me before, you know. But with the whole Beyonce thing, I feel like part of it is like, sometimes a lot of guys are just like, she's just too, I'm every woman for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in the early days, I feel like that's what it was.
So like misogynistic.
A little bit. It's just like, if you don't like Beyonce, like, you don't have to like her, but I don't know. I'm not going to get into that whole conversation. You don't have to. I'm just saying, that's just where my mindset is. I just had to get that out.
You said the trigger with that Beyonce comment.
But what I was kind of leading up to with like that whole like, I find these red flags very early on now. It's just that, like, I already know, like, I don't want to make that commitment to you already. Kind of like, I don't want to, like, I've been through it before with someone who's, like, just like you, and I don't want to do it again. Like, I know what I want. And so I feel like it's hard to not be picky sometimes, because I don't want to say like you don't want to settle. It's just that you just like, you know what you like. And obviously people can have like those redeeming qualities. Like, okay, so he doesn't like the song WAP, but like he opens the doors for me. He pays the tab without talking about like patriarchy or something like that. Just like, yeah, like you can definitely have those redeeming qualities, but they're just those things that I just like, I can't get over. And I've been kind of accumulating those things slowly over time.
But is that being picky?
I feel like dating somebody because they don't like a song is kind of being picky.
there are telling things. Like, there are certain signals that are sent. So it's not just the song.
It's not obviously it's not just the song, but like when they kind of go into it of just because why would a woman talk about her body that way?
Because I mean, like WAP has become a conversation because it was a woman doing all the stuff that the guys were talking about.
Yeah, like men have been talking about the same things that Cardi B has been talking about, but as soon as a woman says it, and so that is like I'm like.
So you don't like it when they don't. So it's not necessarily the song; it's more so the reasoning behind why they don't like the song.
Yeah. And usually all you have to hear is "I don't like that song" to know.
I swear.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying. It's almost like saying
true.
they had to.
Well, when it's straight men.
No, but you know
how
they
have to give people grace. Like I cannot like. It's some Beyonce songs that I don't like, and I like Beyonce.
Hello.
There's some Megan songs that I just don't like, and I'm not saying I do or do not like WAP, but I think that it's not as catchy as a lot of other songs.
Well, that's fine, but you're judging them based on the music.
I'm not judging them. Yeah, I'm not just judging them like you have bad taste in music. I'm judging them on like what it is like behind it.
I get what you're saying.
Thank you.
No, I hear you. I just want to make sure that we're not like saying
it's not.
You're not
just
cutting them off before they even get a chance to explain.
That's why I say, is it picky? Yeah. That's why I say, is it really picky? No, I want a song. Yes, picky. But you have deeper reasoning behind it. I wouldn't classify that as picky.
Right.
That's why I asked you directly, would you say that's picky? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you're just asking for them to have a like mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is different than like the music selection.
Oh God. Do you guys use Hinge?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, like on Hinge, they have like this like filter where it says like your political party, and for some reason, I want to know the reason. For some reason, it's always white conservative men who are into me, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Like they like look at my profile. All I say is like feminist shit, and they're just like,
I gotta challenge that.
That's the one.
That's what that is. That's a challenge.
So Hinge is a dating app.
Yes, Hinge is a dating app, and I just like I can't date someone who's conservative. I recently learned that like one of my ex-boyfriends was a conservative. I just completely stopped talking to him. Like I was like, oh, so there's that hard cutoff, because he was like gun happy, and I like your beliefs are your beliefs, but I can also choose to like not just not associate with you. That's my choice.
For me, I have declared that 2021 is going to be the year of the boyfriend. It is November the 13th, and I still do not have a boyfriend. Dude, it will be December 31st, 11:59. I'm declaring that this is the year of the boyfriend, or this is the year in alignment for the boyfriend. You know, somebody might come before the end of the year, right? So, you're single. I'm single. I don't think being too picky is necessarily a bad thing. When you're manifesting certain things, you have to be very specific and very detailed on what you want. Your man, your house, your car, you have to be specific if it's going to materialize in your life. And so here's where my issue comes in at. We've all been on, some of us have been on certain dating apps. No fats, no femmes, no whites, right? That's not picky. That's saying discrimination. Yeah. Okay? And so picky is how do we determine the line? Yeah. Picky, discriminatory. Picky, discriminatory. Like, you should be very specific about what kind of guys you're into, or whoever what you're into. You have to be specific in order for it to materialize. But on that line, that cusp, I draw it. And people don't necessarily, you should have a right. I don't like white boys. I don't like feminine boys. I don't like fat boys. I don't like men. Okay, you should know what you want. Right, that's fine. But when it becomes like, you white? Absolutely not. Oh, you're fat? Absolutely not. So let's talk more about that on that line.
I think, honestly, oh God, I'm going to call myself out so hard.
Call it out.
But like, I've definitely talked to this about it with you, that like I tend to usually gravitate towards someone who's not my race, and that's honestly just because like I tend to favor people who are like who look the opposite of me. Okay. And I'm not, and my friends get mad at me because they're like, oh, so you're never gonna date a black guy? I'm like, first of all, I never said that. Like, that's usually not the one that I typically gravitate towards. But I'm never going to say like, I'm never going to date a black guy, because like, that's not true. I find black men so handsome, but
Thank
I just
you.
haven't.
Thank you so much.
No, like,
Thank you.
I've watched Jarrod's Thirst Trap so many times because I'm just like incredibly attracted to them. But like I just like,
we have a BoyFriends podcast.
We need to put it up on the screen so we can see.
BoyFriend podcast.
Put one of them up, Jarrod.
no,
wanna
like
say
I think
crush on Jarrod.
I do.
Yes.
Oh my god, I do. But like it's like yeah, I've had like crush on black men, but I've never really like kind of gone through the threshold of dating them, because that's not typically what I date. So honestly, sometimes I can't help it. I feel like they're my cousin. Like I don't know why. It just.
I was waiting for you to drop that part because I was like, "This is what she said."
I don't know why. I said like even with like I'm also half Puerto Rican. Even with Puerto Ricans, I'm like I feel like you're my cousin somehow.
Okay, all right.
I feel the same way with even more specific Cambodian guys. I just feel like we're related somehow.
I
don't know
feel
what that
like
is.
we're related.
Yeah.
And
When we talk about
Interesting.
picky, very careful or too careful about choosing or accepting things. Let's call it out. Picky, very careful, too careful about choosing or accepting things.
okay, but like also, it's really hard because like sometimes you gotta be careful, because if you're not, you end up in a freezer. Sometimes.
Oh, go there. Why don't you?
Okay.
Chop me up, put me in a freezer.
I love true crime, and there's like this woman who, oh god, oh, the show Dirty John. Have you guys seen it? She basically dates this guy who gives her like all the red flags in the world, and she's just like, oh, but I'm older. Oh, but he's this and that. She ignores all the red flags, and he like steals all her money, and then her daughter has to kill him. Sorry for the spoiler alert. You do have to be careful sometimes. Obviously, not too
It says
careful.
too.
Okay.
Careful. Too
But what's too
choosy.
careful?
Too pick.
So I think we have to define the line between
Exactly.
preference and
Thank
like
you.
being picky. So
Preference, picky, discriminatory.
yeah, so you had differences. Like I prefer. I mean, this is
I
not
love
me.
it.
I'm
Go
just
ahead,
saying I
Melvin.
prefer to date black men, but it's a difference when I say I won't date anyone else. I prefer to date taller men. I'm trying to think of stuff that I like. I prefer to date taller men, but if you 5'7" and you cute, what's up? You know, like
Yeah. I
So
dated
you
a short
just
king
have
and I
to-
love tall ones.
you have to really just make sure that you're not cutting yourself off from things that are not necessarily
That don't fit
are
the
going to
mold.
harm you. If they're not going to harm you or any type of way, then maybe you might be being too picky. You know what I mean? Like you need to keep yourself open to the idea of that. What I want may not be what my partner is or my soulmate. If you believe in that thing, I don't. But whatever.
But that whole
I
idea,
do.
that whole idea about being specific, God, can you just send me a man? And he plops a man in your life. God, I didn't want this man.
Yeah, that's how
What?
you get a
What?
Capricorn at your doorstep. You don't want
Not
that.
God, no. I didn't say this man. Well, he said you said a man. You said you wanted. Okay, I gave you a man. That's
I mean,
what
look,
you
you
want.
have to be specific.
Hello.
And I feel like a lot of
Thank you.
people aren't. I feel like there are too many people who are just like, and you'll see them on the online profiles. I'll just go with the flow.
Go ahead, Jen.
Just going with the flow. Okay,
ahead.
left swipe, go with the flow, because I'm looking for somebody who's
Exactly.
looking for what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So if you aren't intentional about
Come on.
what you're doing, then I'm not gonna waste my time, talking to somebody who's just going with the flow or just is up for whatever, or just here to make friends and see what happens. Like, no.
So are we? So go ahead.
I will make a disclaimer. Like, if I say, hey, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, but I don't mind something casual until that gets there. I make it, no.
Yeah.
It's not a going with the flow type of thing. I say, okay, I'm looking for this overall, but in the meantime, I don't mind something casual until we get there. And I like that. I appreciate that. Because it's like, okay,
Oh, yeah, didn't
give me
you
the
bring
opportunity to
that
say no. Give me the opportunity to say no if this is what you're looking for or what you're not. You know what I mean? Don't just say, okay, well, that's it. It is what's going to be. But
So to me, I'm gonna paraphrase. It sounds like it sounds like you're all on the same page. So it sounds like you're saying it's okay to have you want to know what you want, but so what is being picky? Then that's what I'm confused about. So what do y'all say? What is being too picky?
Okay.
If you're saying that it's okay to want these things and require them from your partner.
Maybe if like the guy wore a Hawaiian shirt on your first date, and you're just like, really? That's like, no, that's picky. I feel like that's picky.
Like you don't like their fashion.
Yeah, like if like they don't dress the way. I mean, but honestly, some people are just like attracted to people who dress well or something like that, and I get that. But like, or their front tooth is like slightly over the other front tooth.
That's
I feel like that's picky.
I had a friend who stopped talking to someone because his side tooth was missing. Beautiful. It was like a beautiful, and then side tooth missing, and then beautiful.
So
he was like, "Oh, I can't talk to him no more."
I'm a teeth guy. I like nice.
That's
smiles.
true. I do like.
That
I
would
like
be
nice
to me. That's picky.
Well,
Okay.
see, I think there are certain things that you can like. I feel like
Overlook?
you can have certain. I have whenever anybody asks me what I'm into, I say my 2 physical things, and then everything else is more of like on the inside.
Yeah, great. Come on, give me some. I want to hear about this.
It's big. Well, I like guys with like big, like nice arms, broad shoulders.
Big. I said, ooh, big what?
Yeah,
No, big shoulders. Okay.
And a nice smile.
Okay.
I love like a
So
crooked one.
if those things aren't necessarily there, it doesn't mean that I'm going to cut you off. But if your teeth aren't working,
It's not
if it's not all together, then it might not be a fit. It might not be a fit. You know
Maybe,
what I'm saying?
okay,
I would
wait,
classify, but I would
maybe-
classify that as picky. I really would.
Okay, so maybe
But I just feel like
beer
okay. Hold on,
choice?
Hold on, Renee. Hold on, Renee.
I'm sorry.
because I feel like you can have certain things. Like I feel like if they had like one eye was blind or something, and that's not on your list, then okay, don't knock him off because the eye, because he got an eye problem or something. You know what I'm saying?
I think picky is when you say, okay, I have to have such and such, or if you don't got this, then you out the running. You know what I mean? So you said,
I think you can be a little bit more, because I won't like, I don't know, teeth is pretty big for me, but arms, like you don't have to be the most buff guy in the world.
what if he was buff but had a side tooth missing?
Maybe.
Come on. Oh, see. Okay.
There are
And
certain
then I'm
like
gonna
there
pay
are
for my
levels,
baby's
like you know what I'm saying?
What would you pay to get the tooth fixed?
Would you pay to get the tooth fixed?
Because that's aesthetic. That's aesthetic. You can get a tooth.
Yeah,
You can get a tooth.
So it's more so sounding like we all have our list of requirements. Like you have to, and everybody's is different. Like so, you have to have a nice teeth. You say your man can't be conservative.
Yeah, he has to be a feminist.
Which for some people that's not a big deal. I want you to know, like there are people who like are Republican and Democrat or whatever, and they're married, whatever.
Good for
and so
them.
for you, it's so everybody has their own different list. It sounds like picky comes into where now you're looking at things that are not on your list and you're still judging them for it. Is that what I'm getting? Like
Say that again. I'm sorry.
so it's saying everyone's saying they have their own list, and so it sounds like you're being picky when you're looking away from you're no longer looking at your list, but now judging them for things that are not
or
on your list.
Yeah.
first of all, your list is too long.
Yeah, there we go.
And it's like, like limit yourself
You can
to
be
a
specific,
couple of
but-
specific things. I mean, especially if we're talking physically, like, because we're all human beings. We're imperfect. We're not all going to be, the exact, I mean, like even, people in the superhero movies don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you kind of have to come back down to reality, so have a list, know exactly what it is that you're looking for, but at the same time, don't have like 30 plus items on the list. Have like 5, have like 10 things.
Now
that,
I'm like really thinking
that
about
you
my
really
list.
want in a partner.
You
And
got
let
to.
some of
It
those
will make
things-
you think about
and
it.
allow some of those things to not be present. in
Mostly
the
what
person.
I get that.
I think mostly what I always say is like my type is usually like a square face, light eyes, and dark hair.
I think
and
we have another
he's like,
boyfriend podcast.
oh no, I'm like, I'm deeply in love with all of you. But like, and then so like, if I met like that perfect guy who had like, you know, like the square-ish face with a semi-dad bod, he had a really nice smile, dark hair, light eyes. I think, and then he was like a feminist, a little bit dorky. Like that's really like my type. That's really what I like to go for. I think I would start to get picky if I'm like, does he seriously drink Yingling all the time?
Drink what?
Yingling.
Right.
Like if like every single time we went out to dinner, all he drank was Yingling or something like that. I think that is picky.
A beer.
That's a beer.
Oh.
It's okay. I think that would be picky. Am I wrong?
I think so, yeah.
So can I say, is everybody single here, right?
Yes,
I
except for you.
Yeah.
Who's in an open relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, sorry. We can cut that out.
Another boyfriend podcast exclusive. No, okay, so look.
What? You made that pretty clear.
Yeah. Can I say this, as being in a 4-year relationship, I am picky now. I don't think we realize everything that's on our list until you get in the situation.
Yep.
So it is okay to be picky, but you don't need to let your list grow as the relationship continues. So they don't need to meet everything right up front. But if you see that you can have some form of, you can have a conversation, you can have a relationship, your list of things is probably going to change as you get older.
It will.
Yes.
Or as the relationship continues. You're
It
like,
will.
you know what? He didn't have this, but now that I know him, it doesn't really matter. That isn't. So you can scratch that off your list now. So, because I know now, please, Lord, don't let my man ever leave me. But if he did, the next person has like big shoes to fill, because now I know things that I would need to be in another relationship.
And you probably like didn't even know the things.
I didn't know. I didn't know a lot of things that I needed, or a lot of things, a lot of triggers that I have. I didn't know I was toxic, but I am toxic.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
come on.
why-
Brutally
and-
honest.
You can, and I know when I say toxic, I mean like I have toxic ways. Like I've never been. I didn't take myself as an arguer. Why can't I say that word?
Yeah, we get it.
Arguer.
Wait, wasn't there a story about cornbread that like you guys?
Yes. No, it was mashed potatoes. I got
Mashed
into a
potatoes.
whole heated argument about mashed potatoes, but that's neither here nor there. My point is that you learn more about yourself as the relationship grows. So maybe not up front you don't have to be picky, but eventually you'll realize that you do have 30 plus things on that list because of how the relationship has grown so far.
But it's a running list also. Your list from the beginning is going to change as you grow, and as you grow, it's going to get longer or shorter. It's a working, I don't want to say working document, but it's a working, living list, and that's okay.
I also think it's just dating's kind of funny because you're literally just like, dating is just learning more and more about someone until you realize like, oh, I don't like you.
Or learning more and more about you.
Yourself, yes.
Shit, dating is learning you. Now I will say, I think I said this on the first episode. I want to be the bigger person in my relationship. Like I can do bigger people. That is a preference of mine, and it's a hard, strong preference. I do not want to date somebody bigger than me. Right now,
taller.
I'm talking about bigger, like
okay.
Taller. My preference is tall. Okay, right, tall, 6 feet plus. But I'm dating 5'9", 5'10", and that's my preference is tall. I'm bigger. I'm like a little fluffy these days, so I'll be the fluffier person in my relationship. But honestly, for me, a hard picky, and that's what I say, I will be picky with weight. I think I'm picky with weight. I don't want nobody bigger than me, weight wise, and that's a hard picky for me.
Okay.
I like that. You get to be picky in certain areas.
Yeah.
So, Sarun, how do you think that you could be picky? Because I know that you said that you kind of go off of people's vibes and moments. So, do you think that you are too picky?
So you're going back to the second episode, I think?
Yeah.
Just identifying as Demi. I'm just listening and I'm navigating what everybody's saying, and it's just so hard for me.
I know, that's why I wanted to
know.
And
I'm this whole time I'm trying to pick something in my head, and the only thing that came to my head was, if I see a lot of gums, you know what I mean? But it's just, it's hard for me to pick just because it's like it's the vibe and the connection you make. It goes back to that bond. It sounds very simple. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I started forming a little crush on someone that I've known for like 6 years, and I've never been attracted to them, but I got to know them better.
Wow.
Right? And they're like the complete opposite. It's a little crush, but it's like, but now when you get that bond as that identity I choose, it's like you start sharing more than what you should be, right? And you anticipate things, but so that's why it's hard for me to have a list, because when you start liking someone, all those quirks that you don't like, you like in them. Like when they eat loud, you like it when they eat loud, not when you eat loud, right? Like so you start picking and choose what you think is cute. But so that's why it's hard for me to.
So I guess the question is, has there been anything that has turned you off to someone?
I mean, just if they're a racist.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's a great turn off.
I mean, that's
a great way to end something.
They can't understand my upbringing, for example. They think all Asian people are the same, or it's just monolithic different ethnic groups in general.
Okay, it's 2021.
That's simple.
Who the fuck is still saying that?
A lot of people.
Yes, it's a thing. So,
but I don't think that's picky. So
it's not. No, it's a definitely. You avoid those negative energies.
That's an internal thing that people just have not dealt with. Yeah. Picky. If you're picky, then you know what this. I'm getting a little hype. When you're picky,
energy.
You know what kind of things you're picky about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So picky is a very specific thing. Like, oh my god, I don't like such and such. So I don't like certain. I don't like anchovies on my pizza. I am picky, or I love anchovies. Like, you know what you're picky about. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you're not a picky person. Yeah. If you're picky, you know certain things that you're just picky about. If that makes sense. I don't know.
I honestly think that. I think that people who are like single longer, like me and Jarrod, I think we're called picky the most, because people are like, well, why haven't you, like, if you're looking for someone, why haven't you found them? Are you being too picky?
I don't look at Jarrod as being picky. Jarrod actually,
we're not being picky.
Right.
We just haven't found that person. It's not about us being picky.
I don't think that's it. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that's it either. What were you gonna say, Tom?
That's what I'm saying. I look at you as a person, like, you're very open. You're to different types of people, very welcoming. So I don't know. It's because you haven't gotten there. It doesn't mean I might be picky. You know what I mean? I know you on the back end, behind the scenes, and so for people to say or assume because I'm single and I've been single so long, maybe you're just fucking picky about what you.
That's what so many people assume of me. They're just like, you're way too picky. I remember when I was swiping on a dating app on the subway, and this man, who I don't know, just like chimes in behind me, who had been watching me swipe, and he's like, you're being too picky.
Ow. Gotcha, bitch. Sir,
it's like, first of all, who are you? Maybe you need to be more picky.
Maybe he was trying
to
shoot
was watching. He was watching. He saw you swipe. She being too picky because that was a good one. That was a good one, right?
I would have shot.
No, I always I look at the face. I'm just like, could I be attracted to this? Possibly. Who knows? And then I look through their bio, and if they're like 5'6", I'm kind of like.
Swipe left.
Sometimes, and it's mostly just on dating apps that I'm picky about height. Honestly. I think it's like in person, I tend to be a lot less picky about things.
And I feel the same. And I feel like that's probably similar for a lot of people because dating apps kind of require you to be a lot more picky. Like they
give you all their information right there.
Yeah. and 9 times out of 10, they don't write a whole profile to give you any insight. So you're really just going based off of looks or those I'm 5'8" and
oh yeah, wait, is this picky?
This is my sexual preference or whatever.
I don't like swiping on guys who have like a shirtless pic in their thing because I'm just like, okay, cool, great.
You don't like a shirtless pic as like the first one or like at all?
At all.
At all, honestly.
No, her.
For me, or especially,
I feel like that's a straight.
On the gay dating app, if you don't have a shirtless picture on there, they like, can you send one without your shirt?
Right.
I tend to find that the straight men who put like a shirtless pic like first, and then right after it's like him holding a fish. Oh.
A fish?
Yeah.
Oh.
Straight men love to
I've heard
hold a
that.
fish
I've heard that.
on their date. This is not new, people. They just hold a fish. They're
White
just
man.
like
Yeah,
yes,
I was
white
gonna say,
men.
remember she said she don't.
I did see a couple black guys that were holding a fish.
It can be.
That were holding a
But
fish.
you know, like, okay, so here's my thing about the fish thing. Because I feel like if you actually fish
That's
and
a
you
cool
like
thing.
to fish, why would you not show one of your biggest catches?
Okay.
Like, I just...
But how many men really like to fish? Because
know.
then
I mean,
lakes would be swamped with the
it's
amount
almost,
of people.
It becomes almost like a status symbol, right?
Yeah,
Is that
kind of
what you're
like the
saying?
girls
Like-
who say like, yeah, I like hiking. You don't.
Right. You know you don't.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't know about the fish thing. That's really awkward for me.
That's on
It's not on the gay side. I'm sorry.
It's not on the gay side.
At
But yeah,
all.
no, I just like I tend to and the only reason that I no longer swipe right on the guys who have shirtless pics because that's I've come to learn with experience that those are the guys who tend to only want the casual relationships. Like, hey, this is what you're gonna see when I'm naked.
That's right.
And I'm like, that's great for you. No, thank you. So I'm just gonna swipe left, and it's
Yeah,
and they're often like very narcissistic and think that they're all holier than thou because they have a nice body, and that's just not the type of guy that I'm in. I like humble. I like humble men.
So I want to ask another question to the group. Are we picky with anything else in our lives besides dating that maybe we shouldn't be with? So sometimes I can be picky with sex. And
Oh, tell
so,
us how.
Like, sometimes I need
Please tell us
certain
how.
things before I'm coming over there to get it in.
Like
you know?
what?
God, okay.
Like what? No, put it
No,
out
no,
there.
no. I'm only saying, oh God, because I feel
Okay,
like this is
so-
a conversation.
It's gonna be a good one. I want to know.
Something picky for me, like, I need to know that we're gonna flip flop before it's even happening. Like, it's not gonna be no, I'm doing one thing, you doing one thing. We finna get in there and we're gay. Like, that's the point of being gay.
Okay.
For me,
Gotcha.
like, it needs to be some flip flop sex.
So, for people who don't know what that means, versatile.
Versatile. I'm
Like-
sorry.
I know.
I've been
I
trying
know.
to like not
Honestly, I could put it together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not
so-
saying, like, I'm just saying for anybody else out
Okay.
there who may not
Off camera.
understand.
I know what-
sex.
Like, yeah,
verse
so
sex.
basically, top and a bottom switch positions during sex.
Sex.
Yeah.
So,
That sounds
so
fun.
you doing the bending.
Picture it better.
What did he say? I missed it.
Picture in a better.
It's a line from, I don't know. It's Tyler Perry.
I got it.
Anyway, so so yeah, and I have to have versatile sex. Another
You have to have
thing.
poppers available.
So that's weird for me. I
Let's
don't
get there.
really like poppers.
You don't?
I don't. It's the smell of it is like it does something, and I can't keep an erection with the smell. It's like I don't know.
Okay.
But
I met people like that. Okay, I'm not coming over unless you got poppers.
no, yeah, that's
Well,
like
that's
thing.
right.
That's picky, you know. Like so.
What's a popper?
Oh.
Another discussion.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll save that for another time. Google. Y'all
My
use
virgin
Google for
ears.
that. Y'all use Google for that to know what that is.
No, honestly, I agree with you. I'm definitely kind of picky when it comes to the boudoir, and I think if you talk too much, I'm just like, okay, first of all, I need to concentrate.
I don't like too much talking.
I like it. Talk to me.
Like, don't ask me questions.
Not like that. You know.
Like, who's your dad? I don't know right now.
No, like this.
I'm
I'm
not
like,
focused on
no,
that.
this guy had like a full conversation with me once, and and he was just like, "Do you love me?" And I was like, "We've been on 2 dates." No. And it was awkward because I had to be like while we're engaged, I had to be like, no, I don't.
So some guys and some people actually just they like to feel passionate during sex. They don't really. They know you probably don't
And
love
then-
them. They just want to hear it.
No,
you know?
I know that freaks me out. And then if you do the same position over and over and over again, nope. So yeah, I'm picky about that. Definitely.
I got you.
I want you to finish, Melvin. I want to hear. I don't think you were done.
Oh no,
okay.
I think we can keep going down the road. Like anybody else want to be picky? about that?
That's what I didn't think you were done.
As far as,
I honestly can never show this to my job. Like, oh, I did this podcast.
Right.
Can never show them now.
no episode 7 or whatever this is.
Seven years.
Yeah, I think I'm probably closer to where you are. I'm not like, I feel like people are very picky, like, especially when we're when we're talking about dating or something, and we'll put in our profile or that question always comes up: are you a top or a bottom? And
it's valid though.
It makes sense.
It's valid to some people, probably. Wait, I don't
to a lot
honestly
of
know.
people. Like, you need to know what you're gonna have before you come over here.
With gay sex,
let's put it out there.
It's a valid question. Like, it's like if we're gonna have sex, I need to know what position you are. Like, cause well, unless you're just into like. That's its own thing, like just jacking off.
Oh my god, no! I never even like thought about it. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm just like, you guys can't just have sex one way. Obviously, wow.
I don't know. I mean, I guess not everybody is like me. I'm versatile, and I feel like. What? But and I'm just like. However you are, like, we'll do it, and we'll come up with. I mean, like, if we're going to be in a relationship, there are going to be moments where I'm going to have to do something different, and where I would expect you to have to do something different. And I just feel like a lot of people have these like strict barriers, and I just feel like. I mean, I don't know. Sex is just very, like, sex doesn't have to be so strict. I feel like.
Well, I mean, honestly, for some people it does, and that's just like their level of consent, and like I get that, but that's obviously just like not going to be the person for you. For someone who has like those strict like consent boundaries of like, this is what I'm gonna consent to. Everything else is a no for me.
I know for me. I'm more of top, and I put versatile just so it makes other people happy. But the thing is, when I watch porn,
okay, could I stop you right there? Okay. Because if you're a top and you say you're versatile, everybody's gonna think you're a bottom.
Yeah, I know that for sure. But
I
think that's a black culture thing. I don't think everybody do that.
Really? No. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
But the funny thing is, so much. When you're intimate, I found it's for me. Bottoming is uncomfortable. It's not that it's uncomfortable. I don't feel as there. Okay. I'm conscious, that's right? Fine. I'm more conscious. I'm not in the... Yeah. And it just takes me out of it. That's fine. Right? And then I got to go back to it. So I know on that journey I've been more of a top, right? Just strictly. But then in porn, I can watch both. And I enjoy both. But in real life, it's not. I don't know if you guys feel that way. It's like you can you know what I mean? It's almost like, certain... We're talking about porn right now. So certain porn... I'll feel it like, oh yeah, that top's hot, right? That top's hot.
Yeah.
But then like, what is real life? You're fantasizing, oh yeah, that would be good. But then when you like, no, it's not. It's like it's really not. Yeah. And I guess in situations I've been in, it's like in gay, in our gay community, sometimes bigger is better. But I've been in situations where it's big and it's not. Like it's like, and then I check out. Exactly. And you fake it. Like I brought up before, time you could fake it, and you fake it, and then it just ends like that. And that's, on my own journey, it's just, I can't, That whole porn idea is like, you're watching something, you think, you like growing up, right? You think you'd be into that too, but when it happens.
But when it comes into it, it's like, no, this is too much, or I'm not into it, and I completely understand.
So, my last one is about, are you picky with your just platonic friendships? Like, do you ever, is there certain things that your friends, I think we talked about this before too. Are there certain things that a friend has to do for you, or your friend has to have this, or your friend has to have this mindset, or something like that? Do you guys feel that you're picky in that aspect?
Certain things I won't tolerate.
Yeah.
With my friend.
Oh. No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, I thought you was gonna cut in and just
square up.
I was like, damn, Renee, can
I was agreeing with you. That's what I said. Yeah.
That I could.
I am picky about my friends interrupting me. I will say that.
I was agreeing with you.
I'm just putting it out there, not just you, Renee. I was literally going to say interruption. Something I won't tolerate. I was getting there about not interruptions, but you already got there. I won't tolerate certain things within my friendship circle, and because I devote my time, my space with you, and I choose to be with you, there are certain things I'm just not going to tolerate and accept. As a friend, you should have a higher caliber of functioning if you're going to be in my circle, and vice versa. Hold me accountable, I'll hold you accountable, but I don't think it's about being picky. I think it's like, now bitch, come on now, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna even function like that. Like, and I want somebody to keep me to my toes too. You know, I just think certain stuff is just, you know, the line between friendships, the stuff that you should tolerate or not tolerate. And for me, I had very, very good friends, and we were very honest with each other. We're very blunt. We're very honest. Like, you know, you was mean to old homeboy last night while you was drunk at the bar, and you know how you get when you get drunk. You know, so I don't think it's picky in our friendships. I am picky about time. I am picky about cutting people off. There's certain things I don't like to tolerate. If that makes sense. Would that be picky? You know?
I mean, I think what the overarching message that we're getting is that you can be picky as long as you're like intentional about it and you're not like overboard. Like you just have to be very. It's weird. I think we come back to where that line is between being specific and being like. And trying to find something to trip somebody up on so you can like,
there we go.
Switch the you know.
Okay. I think I like
so, that. So yeah, I think that's kind of where it is.
How about you and your friendships?
I would say I am I would say I don't know. I don't know if I would say I'm picky. I would say I'm very careful about who I think I'm more like Sarun. I don't think I've ever said that, but I think I'm more like Sarun in who I let in my personal space. You know what I'm saying? But once you're in, you're in. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think really when it comes to friends, I just need kindness.
Yes.
And somebody's going to support me and not cut me down. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily being picky because I don't need all of my friends to look a certain way.
Exactly.
You know
That's
what I'm
being
saying?
picky,
Like that's being picky.
Yeah,
like
there we go.
You know, if all my friends have to be like a certain like Ken doll type of. You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's like a little weird. Like, you see those people.
You can't sit at this table.
You know, on Instagram in, Puerto Vallarta. They all just like, it's like the same person. We're standing next to each other. It's like, okay, so, what's going on?
I've learned from your boyfriend, actually, Melvin, because I do have a lot of different friends. And a lot of people come into my life, and I've been told this multiple times. And the first person who told me, he was like, Tony, you need to be protective of your space. The people that you invite in your life. People start with 100 with me, and you knock yourself down. Everybody start with 100 from the jump. 10 brownie points, 100 brownie points, however you want to look at it. You are given 100 up front, and then naturally and gradually you knock yourself down. I give you, hey, everything up front. I had no reason not to trust you, not to like you. You're good with me. Other people's options, you have to gain the trust. No, you already got it up front.
Right. And that's what I can't keep working for your trust. And I'm the same. I'm like, if I'm going to consider you a friend, then okay, we're friends. Yeah. We're like, and if there are certain things that happen, then I might have to like dock a couple points. I might have to step back
that's true.
A couple steps. And keep you maybe not at arm's length, but maybe at like a fingers, like how we do with the mics.
But that's where I learned that from your boyfriend, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy Taylor. He's the one who said, protect your peace, protect your space. Even when you have like events, the lighthouse, everybody can't come up in your house. Your house. I was like, what do you mean, Jerry? I said, this is a good time. It's entertainment, we're all having fun. He was like, but you got to protect the energy that comes into your space. And that's where I originally learned that from. And I want to say thank you on camera and tell him I said that. But yeah, because everybody's different. I don't latch onto a specific type of person or friendship circle. Everybody in my circle we have like-minded things and similarities, but really we're all different too. So that's why I want to say thank you.
So earlier I was, because I was really trying to find a way to so we can define what is being too picky, because I think that's been our struggle for this conversation. And so earlier I looked up a couple synonyms for picky, and the one that stood out to me the most, it said fault finding. And so I think you for me, and what I'm going to start going by is what you're being too picky when you're finding faults instead of necessarily saying this is what I want. And now instead of you're looking for things to discredit this person.
You should be, and I feel like maybe that's where it is. Like maybe you should be looking for what you want when you see somebody, as opposed to looking for what's wrong with somebody.
That was perfect. I love it.
Yes. So I thought you were about to say something.
No. I don't want to interrupt anyone.
No.
You like the blood? You like the blood?
One of our lights just popped off.
Damn.
So much shade.
Oh my God. All right,
wow.
Came for the jugular with that one.
What was the takeaway from this episode?
Like what you said. What
were the takeaways from this episode?
What is the takeaway? What are we feeling?
I think sorry.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, agreeing kind of like what you said, just fault finding. I think that's when you're being picky. You don't, like, try not to have the longest list and don't try to make sure that they knock off every single one of them, because you're not, I mean, you could manifest it. That's the power of manifestation. And if you want to, sure, but you could also be missing out on something that you didn't know that you wanted.
You didn't know that you yes. I never knew. Oh, damn, Renee, I never knew it like that about such and such and so until you got it. Right. Until that person showed you it. You don't know what you don't know, you know? I think for me, a takeaway is the difference between a preference, a picky, and a discrimination.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that resonates with me too. Just
great.
the discrimination piece, and what you just brought up, that was great as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, takeaway for me is, am I too picky? Or if the question is, am I too picky? Then the answer is, it doesn't matter. Like, you could be picky.
Yes.
Just don't look for negatives in people. Like, they'll be apparent. And you can decide when or if or how much you want this person in your life, but it doesn't have to be, you don't have to measure people like that. You don't have to keep picking at the negatives. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, I feel like overall it's still kind of a nebulous kind of topic of, like, whether you're too picky or not. But I don't know. I think, when we say that if you're being too picky, you're, like you said, finding faults. You're looking for the negatives. You're picking apart, as opposed to seeing the whole. So somewhere in there, I can't really say. I can't give you a nice line.
Take what you need
episode
from this episode.
Exactly.
Take what resonates.
Take the parts that you like. And
take the meat, spit out the
yeah.
bone.
So be picky about this episode.
All right. So I guess that's everything. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. And if you have no one else,
you got us.
It's just the start.
Oh, that was adorable.